What's up, people? Good morning. We have made it to Friday, the second day post Pete Carroll, and it's still not shocking waking up knowing that your team is moving on from a head coach after having them for almost a decade and a half. It's still a surprise that this happened to me, and there's still so much to process and think about when it comes to what happens now with this team. And I want to take this video to talk about another angle, yet another angle. There is no shortage of angles on this, and this is something that's become a pretty hot topic of conversation ever since the announcement came out. It concerns Jody Allen. And first of all, just on the surface of it, the fact that Jody Allen participated in this move means the minimum we have to say maybe we misjudged her. Maybe she is more involved than we thought. Maybe she is more willing to do things that only hands on owners are willing to do. Maybe she does care more than we thought she did. We have a significant amount of evidence now that indicates that she's more into this than we thought. 2 years ago, she signed off on the Russell Wilson trade. She's given out some big contracts in the last couple years, including one 4-year deal to DK Metcalf, as well as the big contract last year to Draymond Jones. So there has been some money thrown around, and now this, moving on from the only head coach you have ever known as the owner of this team. That is quite something. And first of all, just the bare minimum I need to say here is I think I misjudged Jody Allen and her level of interest in this team and her willingness to do what is necessary to try to make things better. This is not something that an absentee owner would ever do. An absentee owner would probably not okay the trade of Russell Wilson, and they definitely would not sign off on the firing, and again, I'm going to call it a firing because it basically was, of the greatest head coach the team has ever had. These are the actions of an owner that is actually engaged, that is proactive, that really wants to win, that is willing to do things that are going to rub people the wrong way, that is willing to maybe even set the team back a little bit in the short term for long-term gains. These are things that an owner that is actually in it to win it do. And I'm not saying that because this is guaranteed to work, but I am saying that it is something that you would only do if you're locked in and actually engaged with the process. So let's ask, what is Jody Allen's future here? That's really what I want to talk about in this video because now I'm not so sure. Me and many others have been operating for years under the assumption that Jody Allen was counting down the days until she could sell the team, which comes up, we're not even 6 months away now from the time when she's able to sell the team and get maximum profit. Remember, the stipulation of the contract that the Allen estate, Allen family, whatever, had with the city was that the team could not be sold before, I believe it was June of 2024, or else she would have to give, or him, or whoever it was, would have to give 10% of the proceeds to the city. So me and many others were working under the assumption that she was just waiting for that time to pass, and then she would just sell the team and move on with her life. But this move, this decision that Jody Allen has partaken in as of a couple days ago, we have to reevaluate now. So let's think about this for a little bit. Could Jody Allen be looking to maintain ownership of the Seattle Seahawks for longer than just the next couple years? Could she be looking to maintain ownership of the team for the next 5 years, 10 years, indefinitely? Is it possible that Jody Allen cares way more than we initially thought? And she's at the very least motivated to do the right thing, even if she's not quite as obsessed with winning as Paul Allen was. Let's think. So, we know that Paul Allen's will stipulated the Seahawks needed to be sold at some point, but that phrase, some point, is kind of the key part of that terminology. There wasn't any hard time limit by which the team needed to be sold, and Vulcan actually came out with a statement a while ago saying that, look, yeah, we're going to sell the team, but it could take 20 years before we actually do it. So that opened up the possibility for the team to remain in Jody Allen's control and Vulcan's control for a long time. That's I mean 20 years is no joke. I'm going to be in my 50s in 20 years. That's a pretty serious amount of time where she could theoretically keep the team. Now, when I heard that initially, I thought it was just like a negotiation tactic, like saying, look, I'm not looking to give this team away. I'm willing to hold on to them for a little while if I need to. You better make a real offer when the time comes. I didn't think much of that. But now I look at this move, firing the most successful head coach you've ever had as a franchise 6 months before you're able to sell the team. Now I'm looking at a couple different angles here. First of all, just the simple angle that maybe she holds on to the team for several years, like 5 years minimum, because why would you do this otherwise? Why would you move off of a legendary coach like that when you could just say, look, we had a winning record last year, we had a tough schedule, we came very close to making the playoffs, we were literally a couple of feet away from making the playoffs, really. So we're just going to rock forward with what we have. We're in the second year of a mini rebuild of some sort. We're going to keep it going the way that it is. And then after year 3, I'm going to put the wheels in motion of a sale. And then the new owner can come in and do whatever he wants to do with Carroll. Probably let him go because that's usually how it goes. So that just made sense to me. That timeline made a good deal of sense to me. But now I got to wonder, is she doing this because she knows she's going to be the owner for at least another 5 years, and she doesn't want to waste 5 years finding out that Carroll's not the guy, and she feels like she has enough information to make that assumption? That's what it kind of feels like, right? So, at the minimum, I think we're looking at several more years of Jody Allen being the owner, and I want to be clear, I have no issue with that. I don't care who the owner is as long as they do a good job owning and show me they're invested. And that is what Jody Allen has done over the past few years, much more so than I was expecting when it became clear she was going to be the owner for a while. So, no issues whatsoever if she's going to be involved and if she's going to show a drive to get the team to win at the highest possible level. So, that's the first part of it. But the second part is, what if she sells the team to herself? Now, it's not exactly that simple, of course. It doesn't literally happen like that. But what Jody Allen can do is put together an ownership group that includes her and then be the team that purchases the team from the trust that Paul Allen placed them in. Remember, Jody Allen isn't technically the owner. She's just heading the board, I think it's called, that that runs the Seahawks right now. So there is a scenario here where in a few years she could go, look, I'm going to sell the team. I'm just going to sell it to myself, though. Because Paul Allen wanted the team sold in his will because he wanted the proceeds to go to his charitable organizations, I believe. He wanted the money to go towards these things that he was working on when he was alive. So he doesn't really care where the money comes from that much. So if it happens to come from his sister, then what's the difference? You're still honoring the spirit of the will. And if you are getting an owner out of that that does care, that cares about winning, cares about Super Bowls, cares about competing at the highest level, and cares about keeping the team in Seattle no matter what, that's all you need. That's really all you need, because it's not like Jody Allen's ever going to be hurting for money. She has money. You're never going to be in a situation like the Raiders, where there's not enough money to field a real team, or there's not enough money to be truly competitive. That's not going to happen. So if Jody Allen wants to do it, then sure. So, yeah, interesting new angle for the Seattle Seahawks. Looking at Jody Allen, wondering, is she planning on sitting on the team for a while longer? It seems like that's the case. And could she even hold on to the team indefinitely by simply, for lack of a better phrase rather, purchasing the team from herself? Those things seem like they're on the table now. I don't think a lame duck owner who's just trying to get rid of the team would bother firing Pete Carroll. And honestly, I don't even know if they would be willing to trade Russell Wilson, but that was at least debatable. This is harder to debate. The fact that Jody Allen was willing to take this swing tells me that she cares and she's planning on being here a little bit longer. And look, regardless of how you feel about Jody Allen as an owner, having that stability is a big deal. Having the stability of knowing that the owner who's there now is going to be there in 5 years or 10 years or further down the line is huge. That's going to make coaches more likely to want to come here. That's going to make players more likely to want to come here. It's just going to make everything go so much easier. And it feels like we're not really in jail anymore. The Jody Allen situation previously, it kind of felt like we were in jail because we all assumed that she was just going to sell the team soon. But if not, that opens up everything. That should mean that there's nothing out there that is unavailable to us because of an imminent sale. So, what do you guys think about this? Do you guys think Jody Allen might be sticking around a while? Do you guys think there might be something here? Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about that. Again, I don't care who the owner is as long as they do a good job. And Jody Allen will never be a Paul Allen. That's impossible. You cannot be a better owner than Paul Allen. He was one of one, I think. But she can be a good owner, and over the last couple years, she's shown every sign that she's capable of being a good owner, and that includes making tough decisions, making hard decisions, and looking at things through the right lens that some people seem like they're not willing to do, and some owners probably wouldn't be willing to do, and I thought Jody was one of them, but here we are. Here we are. We're getting rid of franchise quarterbacks, we're getting rid of franchise coaches, and things feel completely different now. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. And hey, Jody Allen, I was not familiar with your work. I think I was not familiar with your work, maybe. All right, see you guys later.